Hey guys, it's your boy Shax. We're doing a video. In today's video, we're going to look at TomKek again with another update on mounts, which is probably done. It looks really awesome. It is a Mechanical Strider update, remastered classic. Wow. Okay, so obviously the old mounts have not been updated. So Tom's talking about himself to take the old mounts, redo them, obviously because I think he's a graphic designer, redo them all, make them look even better, an updated version. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will leave TomKek's video in the description. Make sure you give him a like and comment. I would really appreciate it. And subscribe to his channel also. And let's get into the video.
I remade every original Mechanical Strider. Why? Well, I like gnomes. Gnomes are fun.
Okay, fair dues.
Blizzard's not going to do it. I began by modeling the basic version, making it from scratch. Firstly, because it's good practice for me, and secondly, it's easier than trying to salvage what you're left with after removing the textures from the original. As always, I started with simple shapes, blocking out the base of the model before gradually working my way into more and more detail.
Wow,
for a good bit higher res than the original. For this reason, I was going to be adding some small elements just to fill in the design a little bit.
I'm sure the Mechanical Strider will be a lot more easier for him because obviously it's just like shapes and it's metal, because obviously the metal obviously shapes everything, nuts and bolts and stuff. So I'm reckoning it would be a lot more easier to make than it would be like a curved kind of shape. I'm guessing so. But anyway, let's carry on.
Little nuts and bolts, breaking up some of the shapes a little bit, etc. I wanted to be very careful not to go overboard with this, keeping the additions to a minimum, because it's important to me to make sure that my remakes stay true to their predecessor.
That's
I
it.
want to make a tribute to the original artwork, not pull an Amazon on it. When studying the model, I noticed they have an inverted normal in the right toe. In layman's terms, that's a polygon facing the wrong way, which means it's only visible when you view it from what is supposed to be the backside rather than the front. Blizzard can ruin the entire legacy of Warcraft lore in the scope of a single expansion, but it takes them 18 years and counting to press Shift N in Blender. After modeling the trusty steed of the
I wish they actually did upgrade these.
I wanted to put room in there for all the parts that will be added later on when I make the 100% speed one. A lot of parts are the same between both versions. If I left the UV layout for these parts the same, simply placing the unique components in the rest of the UV space, I could just reuse the texture of the overlapping parts rather than having to paint those bits twice.
Save you some time.
Having left myself absolutely enough space for all the parts that will be added in the epic version, I moved on to the moment to make it all count.
That was great.
Texturing. In an attempt to honor my source material, I decided I was going to brutally butcher the WoW art style for this model. Now, I'm pretty new to hand painting textures, but I'm not new to painting, and I'm not new to failure. So after spending some time looking at mecha
well, you're not 82 subs now.
Feel for the art style, and after that got boring, I had nothing holding me back and I gave it a shot. And to my surprise, it didn't go that bad. I started off just painting some basic values, some lights, some darks, some in-betweens, the occasional cheeky glance back at some more WoW textures. Slowly but surely,
I'd love to do this, honestly.
Part of Blizzard's art style is that the textures don't look too perfect. Rather than having everything be completely
that's
smooth,
true.
they often have some element of roughness in them, having visible brushstrokes, etc. For my remake, I wanted to replicate this effect.
I mean, metal. When it comes to metal's probably rusty and scratched and done up anyway. So it wouldn't really matter if the colours were perfect anyway. So it look like it did say, colours would be better if it were blotchy and blotchy and not really bothered about it and just look rustic.
Blizzard's art department would be unlikely to waste their piss on me in a fiery blaze. My chances of acquiring Blizzard's brushes were looking slim, so I made my own. If you're a fellow artist and are wondering about these brushes, well, don't. After painting in my basic values, I got to work on some deeper lights and darks. Getting the highlights to look right was the main challenge here. It's something that's very easy to overdo and very easy to underdo. Blizzard continues their cartoony, chunky proportions in their textures, so I tried my best to do the same. In the process of trial and error, I continued to stumble towards an end result that I wasn't at all unhappy with. Texturing the Mechanical Strider trained my Ctrl-Z muscle memory the way that writing it trains my Ctrl-S.
It looks difficult painting though, really does.
It was working. The non-epic version of this mount is 4 color variants. The way that I approached the texturing was to first focus on values, blacks and whites, and then to worry about getting it into the right colors. Something that Blizzard is famous for doing well is using color accents. I am not famous at all, so my attempt at this boiled down to creating a layer of blotches, for which I also made a brush, that I would use to replicate a Blizzardy effect, along with tweaking the different layers of the texture into slightly different hues, breaking up the flat color. Having textured the entry-level edition, time came to model the epic version.
That looks great.
Rich gnomes, these versions are actually more different than you probably think they are. So this involved a substantial amount of work. A good bit more than I'd actually assumed it would have been myself.
Well, I am guessing that obviously the mechanomes or the mounts of them are pretty different from the other ones because obviously The other mounts have like no armor, and then obviously the epic mount, 100% mounts have like have armor on. So I do wonder how they actually did the Mecha Sunrise, because I'm not an Alliance player, so I'm actually interested.
I pulled through it, but I'll admit there were definitely some moments where I wouldn't have minded somebody slapped me with the lazy peon slap. I redid the head, added the wings, the backside, what I am not sure what it is, although I have my suspicions. The little toot toot, the mirror, the new pipes, and the platy things.
Is that the epic one? That's cool.
Happy Mechanic Strider.
Wow.
Then came time to UV map this piece of shit, which felt a lot like trying to stick a square peg into a round hole. I'd left some space in the UV map of the 60% one for all the components of the 100% one, but I'd underestimated the space I would need for this by approximately a lot. After over an hour of intense negative emotion, I managed to fit them all in at a resolution as possible, and I was ready to texture this little fucker. The first thing I did when I loaded this boy into Substance Painter was remember that all this effort was absolutely pointless, because in Substance Painter, brush strokes are saved in the 3D space, not the UV space. So a wildly different UV layout would have been not a problem whatsoever. The Substance Painter would have just projected the textures onto the polygons wherever they were in the UV map.
Yeah.
This also meant that, since the model of the 100% version is different, the brushstrokes were applied to the model in a way that I could only describe as exceptionally fucky. What is convenient is that this issue could be circumvented by exporting the layers from Substance Painter and re-importing them as 2D images. What is profoundly inconvenient is that I only found out about this after spending a solid hour and a half manually cleaning the whole thing up.
What?
It's fun to learn, kids.
Dude, that's a long time just to sit there. I
ignored the fact that the past couple of hours of my life had ever happened, and I got to work, texturing all the new parts added in the epic version one by one. Like I said, the unique parts actually take.
So you did a lot more extra work than what you should have done.
And I'm honestly a little bit amazed at the extra effort they put into the epic version of this mount. Compare that to what Blizzard does nowadays, where they take an animal already in the game, slap a saddle on its back, or
pretty much,
and recolor it 48 times. Blizzard had some love for the gnomes back then. Since brushstrokes are saved in a 3D space, as my Substance Painter file filled up, it got laggy. As in bad. Every time that I switched layers, I had to sit there and watch it try to remember what the layer looked like again for a solid 30 seconds before I wanted to touch up on.
Really?
Towards the later stages of the process, this started eating up a significant chunk of my time. Not be lying to deny that towards the very end, I didn't flirt with thoughts of chewing off my right arm, just so I would have an excuse to stop.
Wow.
I didn't though. I was too scared. As I was closing in on the end of the texturing process for the epic Mechanic Strider, I got a better grip on working with his art style. I noticed that it was all coming to me a bit more naturally.
Okay, you're getting used to it now. Okay, so you kind of start off and you get used to it.
The 100% speed ones actually all have unique decals as well as colors.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it took me 2/3 of my life as well, but they do.
Apparently. Oh, wow, they look great.
Add more work to the list, but if this was about efficiency, you'd be watching me redo the Stormwind mailbox or making a custom peppy or some shit. I replicated the original paint job somewhat as good as I could. For the white Mechanic Strider's decals, I traced the shape in Photoshop, turned it into a brush, and imported that brush in a Substance Painter. For the other ones, I just did a lot of clicking. When I first set out, I honestly did not expect to get this close to the Warcraft look. I thought I was going to be more of a dumpster fire, if I'm going to be honest, but, you know, here it is. And as I finished up these last details, the sweet end drew near, and I could feel myself approaching that payoff. But before I show you the final results, I want to dip my viewer attention curve for a couple seconds. This video was a lot of work to make.
Was it? Seriously?
Equivalent of a work week and a half.
33 hours? Holy shit. It's a long time.
Subscribers and I'm too ugly to get a sugar daddy.
Nah, man, you're on 33k now, mate. You don't need to do that.
By dropping a like, subscribing to my channel, and ringing the notification.
We did, mate. We did, don't you worry.
Now get ready for the
Just remember, guys, this is his first ever video.
I hope. I'd be lying to say that I wasn't damn proud of this one. I present to you, staple of Warcraft gnomes, the new and updated Mechanic Striders.
Okay, here we go. Ooh, they look good. Oh, that looks great. The colours are so much more vibrant. There's little markings on there as well. Awesome. I wonder how he gets them to move and put them in the 3D space. I want to do it. I believe it took him 33 hours to make them all. What obviously is made a load, hasn't it? So they look great. Wow, that's the epic version. That looks sick. That looks great. I'd buy that. You know, if it was real money, I'd buy that from the mount store straight away. That looks amazing. Unpainted. Oh, that's the unpainted one. Okay. Green. Red. Red looks sick. Blue. Awesome. Swift yellow mechanic strider. That looks amazing. The black. That looks cool. Love it. Green. I love it. I love the decal. It's done by hand as well. And obviously the white one. Amazing. GG's to him, guys. Yeah, let's go. Remember, guys, go and give him a like, give him a sub. I would appreciate it. I enjoyed that. TomKek is an amazing guy. Well done, buddy, and well done to 33k. Since on that video it was 86 subs, but now it's on 33k. So congrats to him. Amazing, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on my video if you want some more reaction videos. Also, do place in the comments as well if you want me to react to other smaller content creators on YouTube or any other videos you want me to go and look at. Feel free. And yeah, see you next one. Peace.